This team gets all A's on PvPoke, and that's mainly because of the unbreakable core of Toxapex and Vigoroth. These two Pokemon in Summer Cup will behave like monsters, like gods, so that's why we're gonna use them as well in this all-around team. Cradily will fill up as a solid closer for this line, while it still has general coverage for the entire meta. So you can see as to how this team can be used as a top team for Summer Cup, but let's see it now in action, because we're starting off today's content with a very bad lead against Lantern, and now on the switch we go down to that superpower from Chestnut. Hopefully after the debuff we might be able to completely farm down, but before we do they have access to another superpower. At this point I'm expecting Lantern to return into the game, but to be fair I'm just gonna block once and try to do my best with the Sludge Wave. So here comes now my move, but unfortunately on the CMP. I'm kind of obliged in using both of my shields, because my opponent absolutely outplayed me with the first charge attack being Surf, and now by switching out to my Cradily, let's see how they react. Immediately they throw in their Greedent, so this means that they have no other clear solution for my Cradily, and if I can keep it alive for the very end game against Lantern, perhaps I can have the upper hand no matter what. So here comes now a move after the first Trailblaze, which means that the second move might hurt a little bit more, but they end up going for those body slams. You know what, I'm gonna take this because another body slam is coming up and we can definitely survive that. Now with the Grass not able to connect, we almost guarantee the knockout, but a few bullet hits later we managed to farm down completely and still reach to another Grass knot, this time for Lantern. Into the next one now, trainers, with the Quagsire up in front with the Swag Hat. You know what, this is terrible for us, we need to switch out, but hopefully the backline can be kinda clutch on the situation. However, they end up catching on Pidgeot, and not only that, but we also do not provoke a shield in the process, which is not that great overall. Anyways, Rock Slide now, because I figured out that Body Slam might actually leave them with 1 HP just in case they take it, but they end up shielding no matter what. Feather Dance now on my Vigoroth, which is absolutely a mistake, and I'm just getting a little bit of luck, but hopefully that grade was still enough to finish them down. Now with the return of Quagsire, we have totally avoided that matchup with Toxapex, so it all depends now on what might be lying at the very end. You know what, this is just a Stone Edge, we can survive it. Now Talonflame at the very end, and as soon as we switch out to our Toxapex, they immediately back out from this battle and we take a solid victory. Cradily is another lead that we're kind of afraid of, but hopefully the backline can make up for it. So our solid counter to this Cradily is gonna be our Vigoroth, but hopefully perhaps our own Cradily can do some solid work if we have later on that energy advantage. So with Quagsire coming into the game, I'm just gonna keep going at it with a few body slams to drop them significantly low at a point that my Cradily might actually farm them down before risking a shield at all. So here comes now a move, I'm just gonna take it no matter what. It ends up being the Stone Edge, of course, and right after the bullet hit damage is so much for that Mad Boy. So now with the Cradily returning into the game, perhaps they are kind of afraid of my Toxapex, because at the very end I have a vision that we might actually have the upper hand. Let's see how this is gonna turn around, because my move is coming up, we definitely have the energy lead here, and of course we managed to catch on Toxapex. At this amount of HP that they have, not only we can survive the moves, but also we might actually drop them to no HP with a single Brine. Now Pidgeot comes into the game, and yes trainers, we were correct, Rock Slide is gonna be the main way to go for our Cradily, but first they need to drop our Toxapex into no HP, and that is not happening that easily, because by blocking here the Brave Bird we managed to completely farm down and still reach now to the Sludge Wave for the victory. Grass Knot is no biggie for us, we know already that we can survive the move with our pure spiky bulk, so down goes Cradily and we managed to get a solid victory for our team. Now with the Salazzle up in front, I make the questionable choice on switching out to my Vigoroth. I don't know what I was thinking about. Obviously this is a mistake and you should not do this. So Vigoroth now up against Salazzle, and of course they have the upper hand with those Poison Fangs. Unfortunately for us, we cannot get there quite to the body slam to push for the knockout, but my opponent will still keep going at it with those Poison Fangs, which means that Toxapex can survive the moves with ease. So another one is coming off, and another one before getting my hands on Brine. This Salazzle is getting out of hand with that energy gain, and now by dropping them to no HP with the Brine, we need to see what they have back there. They end up having a Pokemon like Shadow Victreebel and a Shadow Sharpedo, so this is a team that requires a lot of pressure from those fast attacks, and I guess that my shields here are kinda useless. So what I want to do is to go for the Rock Slide and perhaps one more, but unfortunately for us this is not the case at all, and not even gonna bring them to no HP with a Sludge Wave, so my opponent is gonna get a well-earned victory with a Toxic team. Into the next battle now with Pelipper up in front. This is obviously kind of a good one for us because we can easily survive one Hurricane while the Sludge Wave has to be blocked by my opponent. So I'm just gonna go for the move as soon as I get there with a little bit of extra farm, and after we land the move, now they have to throw the Weather Ball. I know we can easily survive it. Now they have Swampert coming in, and for some reason I drop Cradily. The obvious choice would be to go for Vigoroth, to be fair, but hopefully they end up switching out to their Talonflame, so this is still kind of a pretty good situation for us. We can survive the move and also apply some more pressure with our Rock Slides, and as you can see here now they have 0 shields into play while we have 2. What I want to do at this point is to come into the battle with Vigoroth most likely, because Rock Slide will absolutely seal the deal up against that Kentucky Fried Chicken. So another Flame Charge, another Dead Go battling with the baits, and now I suppose that if we can let the Hydro Gun go through, we can have the upper hand with the energy for sure. So now Body Slam is gonna be thrown to Swampert on Shadow mode, and they're gonna take so much damage. By blocking here we can kinda guarantee the farm down, get the upper hand with the energy, and perhaps here the Rock Slide can be connected on that Talonflame since they are kinda energy dry, and of course we can grab a victory for this one. Into the next battle now with Toxapex up against Cradily. Let's see how this is gonna turn around towards our advantage, because we are not looking that strong overall. Cradily is a lead that I'm totally afraid of sometimes, and that's mainly because of its typing. Hopefully though, one Sludge Wave will drop them severely low, but if they start blocking, things can go sideways. So we end up catching the move on Vigoroth, and for this team I know that Vigoroth might not be that bulky, but still it is the punching bag that we need so that we can excel with the other 2 Pokemon, and those 2 are either Toxapex or our own Cradily on the end game. Now with the Feather Dance we managed to get some extra farm and still reach 2 Rock Slide to guarantee the knockout over Pidgeot, but my opponent will block twice here in a pretty risky farm down. You know what, Toxapex now can absolutely come into the battle, and if they get their hands on that Brave Bird we can easily farm down, while if they get their hands on that Feather Dance perhaps we can survive a little bit more here. So they end up going for Feather Dance first, we managed to call it, Brave Bird second, we managed to call it with a shield as well, so that is gonna be looking like a GG already, because I'm expecting definitely a water type at the very end, but the battle is not over yet, so let's see how this is gonna go. Pidgeot now returning into the battle, but we are already there on the Rock Slide to finish them off. Now with that water type coming into the game, unfortunately for us this water type is gonna have the Steel typing as well, so this means that my move are kinda useless on this situation, and Toxapex has nothing to do over here. Just for fun, I'm just gonna go ahead and block, but not only I'm not gonna reach to a second Sludge Wave, but also they are already there on the double Drill Peck range, so down we go, one for the shield, one for the knockout, and Toxapex has nothing else to offer up against Empoleon. Well played to my opponent, and right straight ahead into the next battle, this time with a Magcargo up in front. This Pokemon doesn't make a lot of sense for the current state of Summer Cup, but still up against Toxapex it might actually be a solid Pokemon. But overall they still switch out to their Gradient, which is a Pokemon that is becoming more popular by the day in Summer Cup, and perhaps one Pokemon that I definitely need to try out myself. Anyways, enough about that flutter about Gradient, and now let's return to the commentary, because as you can see we can push them a lot to their limits with that final Body Slam and still guarantee the knockout over Gradient. Let's see how they respond, because Magcargo joins the party, and of course they can farm it down before I even reach to a single Body Slam. So at this point I know that Brian might actually do the trick up against them, and I also know that I can survive the Incinerates and whatever move they throw at this point. Another Brian is coming off, I just want this Magcargo out of the way at this point, and I also know that Cradily with Rock Slide might actually be the key Pokemon that I need to finish off their final Pokemon, which is Poliwrath and of course Magcargo. Now by blocking that Icy Wind we can pretty much guarantee the knockout with that Grass Knot, even though we are debuffed, so down goes Shadow Poliwrath and Magcargo returns now into the game. By blocking at this point, no block, oh my goodness, that was pretty risky, we still managed to get our hands on that Rock Slide to guarantee the knockout, and that's gonna be a fantastic ending for us. Into the next battle now with Toxapex over Skeledirge, and this is not a great situation to be in, but still they want to switch out. As it seems, another ghost emerges, and I can only imagine that a triple ghost team is ahead us. So here comes now the Jellicent, most probably they are gonna have something like a Trevenant, so I'm just gonna keep my Vigoroth for the very end game, and let's see how this is gonna unfold. Perhaps I could go in here with my Vigoroth instead of Cradily, but I figured out that the grass moves are gonna be much appreciated by that Jellicent, and that was irony. So down I go now to the Hexes, but they have 0 shields while we have 2. This is gonna be looking pretty solid for us, and of course we can start pushing for that Rock Slide over Skeledirge, the Clown Face starter. They're getting significantly low here, and we also managed to catch the Disarming Voice, resist it on that poison typing of ours. So here comes now Brian to finish off the job over Skeledirge. With Skeledirge out of the way and 0 shields remaining on my opposing side's field, I guess that we can have the upper hand with our Pokemon. Even when resisted, Sludge Wave is still gonna do a fairly good amount of damage to those ghost type Pokemon, so I can always rely on that. As it seems, I want to protect my Toxapex from further harm, and in doing so we end up destroying down that Jellicent no matter what. This is gonna be just a Shadow Ball which we can survive, gonna get our hands on the Sludge Wave, and now all that remains is to switch out to Vigoroth, reach to a simple Rock Slide and finish them off. I know that as long as I am above 50%, there is no reason at all to worry, because those Shadow Claws deal about 1 damage and Seed Bomb will never be enough to finish me off. Into the next battle now, trainers, with Toxapex up against Girafaring. This is another example of bad matchmaking, because this Pokemon with Confusions can easily destroy down my poison typing. So Girafaring looking like a pretty strong anti-meta Pokemon at this point, and they respond with a switch out to their own Toxapex after the debuff with a Psychic. Fangs, yeah, Psychic Kicks, I was about to say, that was a bad pun, but we're gonna see it later on. So here comes now the farm down with Toxapex, and now we're just gonna bring our own Toxapex just to provide some extra pressure and of course farm as much as we can with our poison jabs. I know that one move will not finish them off, so I'm just gonna take advantage of that, go for the brine at some point, and then farm a little bit extra as they're getting lower and lower on that HP bar of theirs. So Toxapex now goes down, our own Toxapex though is still in play. Girafarig returns into the battle, we're having Sludge Wave for the nuke, but my opponent is definitely gonna be awaiting for this. Now with that next move coming up, I'm pretty sure we can survive it, whatever that is. Grident emerges out of nowhere. I was expecting a Vigoroth, but still Grident. I get why people are gonna use it at the back. It is gonna be a super safe Pokemon, and now all we have to do is to respect the damage even from those body slams, because the Psychic Fangs has definitely debuffed our defense. Now this Grident is gonna have access to more spammy moves, the crunches, the trail blazes, or just those body slams that I'm just gonna block no matter what, whatever move they throw, because I just want to stall as much as possible to clear the debuff by switching out to my Toxapex. So over here now they join the party once again with Girafarig to go for that Psychic Fangs, and we're having Rock Slide to destroy down the remaining HP they have. Now we need one more charge attack, but unfortunately for us it is not gonna be pressed in a pretty laggy situation at the very end. But to be fair, we have a 3-turn fast attack while they have a 2-turn, so most probably they could finish us off anyways even without that mini lag. Into the next battle now, trainers. I guess that was a bad lead on the first one, I did not see it that well, but still it is what it is. And in this final one we're meeting up with a Cradily in the switch, so let's see how this is gonna go as we're finishing them down. So I'm expecting them to go for a move here before I get my hands on that Rock Slide, but still I want to block because this is the perfect opportunity for me to still get to that Rock Slide and deal some extra damage back at them. However, they still have that Quagsire, which is a pretty cool Pokemon to catch the Rock Slide on, and with that in mind, Shadow Quagsire is a severe threat to those grass types for sure, and especially when that grass type is part rock and it still takes neutral damage from the Mud Bombs or the Aqua Tails. So another Mud Bomb is imminent to finish us off almost over here, but another one right after will most likely seal the deal. However, we end up completely farming down, we have access now to Rock Slide, and over here I could go for one more Bullet Seed because we are at the 3-turn based fast attack while they are 4, but still it is what it is, and we're gonna be able to reach to another Rock Slide for massive damage on their end. Now Toxapex can easily return into the battle and take its revenge over the electric type Pokemon because Charge Attack has nothing to do here, and even a double discharge can easily be managed by our Spiky Bulk. That's gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching, for sticking around till the end, it really means a lot for my channel. Before you go though, leave a huge like, subscribe to my content, and I hope to see you all into the next one.